Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Holy friggin' bombshell. Elon Musk promised and Elon Musk delivered big time on this one. This is one of the biggest scandals, one of the biggest stories that of course the media conveniently chooses to ignore once again. It's funny how every time we cover these stories of such massive cultural importance and significance, the media seems to not care. They're more focused on drumming up a narrative surrounding the Donald Trump, Kanye West, Nick Fuentes, and Milo Yiannopoulos dinner, trying to paint Donald Trump with a brush, more focused on that nonsense than the outright attack on Americans' constitutional rights directly from the DNC. Elon Musk claimed that he had a big bombshell release of information and evidence related to the Twitter platform's censorship practices targeting conservatives, and boy oh boy did he deliver. As I stated in my previous video, unleash the Kraken, and that is exactly what Elon Musk just did. And honestly, it might be even more significant, more damaging to the DNC, to Democrats, than initially anticipated. Let me show you guys everything that's going on here. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so much anticipated, the information, the documents, whatever you want to call it, has finally dropped. Elon Musk using Substack reporter Matt Taibbi as an intermediary or a proxy, and holy moly, does this Twitter thread slap. Thread. The Twitter files. What you're about to read is the first installment in a series based upon thousands of internal documents obtained by sources at Twitter. The Twitter files tells an incredible story from inside one of the world's largest and most influential social media platforms. It is a Frankensteinian tale of a human-built mechanism grown out of control of its designer. Twitter in its inception was a brilliant tool for enabling instant mass communication, making a true real-time global conversation possible for the first time. In an early conception, Twitter more than lived up to its mission statement, giving people the power to create and share ideas and information instantly without barriers. As time progressed, however, the company was slowly forced to add those barriers. Some of the first tools for controlling speech were designed to combat the likes of spam and financial fraudsters. Slowly over time, Twitter's staff and executives began to find more and more uses of these tools. Outsiders began petitioning the company to manipulate speech as well, first a little, then more often, then constantly. By 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. One executive would write to another, "More to review from the Biden team." The reply would come back, quote, "Handle." This right over here is an internal email of a Twitter executive linking 5 different tweets from 5 individual users, writing "more to review from the Biden team." And then of course the response, "instantly handle." Now this seems to really clarify Karine Jean-Pierre's statement from just the other day.
When you say that you're going to be monitoring some of the speech on there, if you see something that you don't like, would you try to shut Twitter down?
So look, you know, when you talk about monitoring, you know, it is, I hate to break it to you, Peter, just like everybody else, we very much monitor the news. We pay close attention to everything that you all are reporting, and Twitter's in the news a lot.
And it seems to confirm our suspicions that the Biden administration, Democrats and the DNC, were actually behind Twitter censorship. The thread continues, "Celebrities and unknowns alike could be removed or reviewed at the behest of a political party. I grabbed the first one under SI. Defer to safety on the high-profile second one. An additional report from the DNC." You notice that name right over there. Real James Woods. Denying individuals First Amendment rights to speak, to share their opinions online, in the online town square, because that's exactly what Twitter is, purely because the DNC found it politically inconvenient for them. This is a scandal of epic proportions. This is something that should shock you to your core. Now, to be absolutely fair on this, I am going to add some context here that Trump officials were also using these channels to have their voices heard at the platform as well. But as Matt Taibbi clarifies, both political parties had access to these tools. For instance, in 2020, requests from both the Trump White House and the Biden campaign were received and honored. However, the system wasn't balanced. It was based on contacts because Twitter was and is overwhelmingly staffed by people of one political orientation. There were more channels, more ways to complain open to the left, while Democrats than the right. As we know, 99% of political contributions from Twitter employees go to Democrats. The resulting slant in content moderation decisions is visible in documents you are about about to read. However, it's also the assessment of multiple current and former high-level executives. These channels were unofficial. They were predicated on contacts who you know. And clearly, we already know the connections between social media companies, executives, lawyers, and the DNC runs incredibly deep. And obviously, we know that the content moderation wasn't fair or balanced. It was clearly biased against conservatives and used as a weapon to destroy and deplatform conservative thought and conservative leaders. And we know this simply from observation. And speaking of knowing this from observation, knowing this from our experiences, the Hunter Biden laptop story. This really clarifies the whole ordeal. Maybe a month and a half before the election, a massive Biden crime family scandal is about to hit. Not only a scandal involving Hunter Biden, but allegedly, supposedly involving Joe Biden and his brother James Biden. A story that was highly relevant to the American voter currently trying to make their decision on who to vote for president. And this story, this confirmed scandal involving the Bidens, was censored by Twitter unjustly, and as we're now finding out through Matt Taibbi's reading of the documents, is that the then Twitter executives who are no longer at the company knew that their excuse of hacked data would never hold up. Then White House spokeswoman Kayleigh McEnany was locked out of her Twitter account for tweeting about the story, prompting a furious letter from Trump campaign staffer Mike Hahn, who seethed, "At least pretend to care for the next 20 days. This led public policy executive Caroline Strom to send out a polite WTF query. Several employees noted that there was tension between the comm/policy teams, who had little/less control over moderation, and the safety/trust teams. Hi team. Are you able to take a closer look here?" Strom's note returned the answer that the laptop story had been removed for violating the company's, quote, hacked materials policies. Per checking, the user was bounced by site integrity for violating our hacked materials policy, adding them here for further insights and guidance. Although several sources recalled hearing about a general warning from federal law enforcement that summer about possible foreign hacks, that there's no evidence that I've seen of any government involvement in the laptop story. In fact, that might have been the problem. The decision was made at the highest levels of the company, but without knowledge of CEO Jack Dorsey, with former head of legal, policy, and trust Vijaya Gadde playing a key role. Quote, "They just freelanced it," is how one former employee characterized the decision. Hacking was the excuse, but within a few hours, pretty much everyone realized that wasn't going to hold, but no one had the guts to reverse it. I mean, wow, this stuff is scathing, folks. And the point that I'm trying to get here is, they censored the Biden crime family scandal, knowing full well that their excuse to censor it wasn't going to hold up. And what makes this whole situation much worse is the transparency that we now have in this very cozy relationship between the DNC requesting trust and safety officials at Twitter to remove content that they don't like. And then pile onto that the fact that we now know that the FBI and the CIA were involved in communications with Twitter and warning them about potential hacked Russian disinformation coming down the pike. I mean, this is a bombshell of epic proportions, as I stated earlier. This is, once again, one of the biggest scandals, one of the biggest corruption stories, a constitutional atrocity committed on the American people, involving the highest levels of government, using massive social media oligarchies as their vessel. And I'm stuck asking the same question again. I mean, this stuff is a shock to the conscience. Where is the media? This is the biggest story. Once again, just like the Hillary Clinton Russiagate was the biggest story at the time, the Hunter Biden laptop scandal, the Mark Zuckerberg interview on Joe Rogan, giving us unique insight into the DOJ and FBI and CIA's involvement in online censorship benefiting Democrats, the most recent leaked DMs between Vijaya Gadde and other individuals in the government requesting to take down content off their website. I mean, one after another, it seems endless, and the media just seems totally uninterested. It's absolutely baffling. The DNC and federal agencies must be held accountable. They conspired and colluded with Twitter, interfering in the American electoral process in the most corrupt manner possible, and it's not something that they should just be able to get away with once again, especially not after 6 years of Russia collusion this and Russia collusion that. Well, now we officially, with facts, with evidence, documents with details, find out exactly who was really trying to interfere in American elections, and so maybe it's time for a special counsel. And so it's time to start seriously launching investigations. You know, instead of launching special counsels investigating Donald Trump for absolutely nothing, maybe the DOJ should focus on actual crimes, and Merrick Garland should investigate his own damn party. I don't even know how I feel about this, friends. How many of these corruption scandals are going to be allowed to stand? Which one is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? It's time for accountability, and it's time for the GOP to start playing some offense. These people, these institutions, have waged war on conservative voters, and you don't defend yourself with this phony virtue nonsense, this neocon GOP cowardice of, we're not going to stoop down to their level. There's a concerted institutional effort to destroy you. It's an existential fight at this point. Wake up, GOP, and more importantly, stand up. At this point, they need to realize that they are the last line of defense between freedom and authoritarianism. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.